Good afternoon, everyone. Today is April 6th, and we are just 2 days away from the solar eclipse happening on April 8th. And my partner and I are here to talk about a safety guide to your next solar eclipse adventure. Next slide, please.
Hi guys, my name is Aleek Rodriguez and I'm a first year student at Arizona State University. I am an astronomy and planetary science and a physics major. My partner?
Hi, everyone. My name is Karolina Rivera-Osorio. I'm a former NASA intern and space psychologist. So everyone mark your calendars because we are preparing for totality, which will happen on Monday, April 8th, and we're here to talk to you about safety. But first, I'm going to hand it over to Aleek, who will talk about the moon.
Okay, cool. So to start off, we'll talk about one of our main protagonists, the moon. Ooh. So the moon is actually 238,900 miles away. So driving, it would take you a whopping 166 days. If you don't know, the moon was made by Ratatouille. I'm just kidding. It was actually created by a rock that smashed into our Earth, and this rock, due to gravity, started rotating around the Earth, started rounding up into a ball, and it made the moon. But if you thought that it was made out of cheese, you're wrong. It's actually created of a lava ocean that cooled down throughout millions of years. Now, if you look to the right of our screen, you'll see that our country in which we live in, the US of A, actually fits onto the moon. So our country fits from edge to edge of the moon. And now to talk about the sun, Karolina.
So how many years do you think it would take to drive to the sun is my question. So if we go on to the next slide, the sun is actually 93 million miles away, and driving there at 60 miles per hour would take you 176 years to get there. Now, if you look at the image on the bottom left where it says, hey, I'm a solar flare, so that's a solar flare is basically a bunch of gas that the sun spits out. So like imagine a kid having a tantrum or just, the sun is having a burst of energy. So it releases that solar flare. And if you want to know the difference, the size difference between the Earth and the sun, you can look in the top right image here, and you can see that big white semicircle is actually the sun. And that black little dot that you see there is where you and I live, and that's Earth. So if you look below where it says 1 AU, the distance between the sun and the Earth is considered 1 AU, and it takes about 8.5 minutes for the light to reach the Earth.
Okay. And now to talk about rotation versus revolution. If you look at the two pictures on the top, you'll see that the Earth is rotating around on its axis. So basically, it's just making itself dizzy in a very big circle. If you look to the right, we'll see what's called revolution. And if you thought it was war, it isn't. It means that all of the planets are going around the sun, which means that these circles around the sun cause our seasons: summer, spring, fall, winter. So it takes a full year for the Earth to go around the sun and create the seasons. Now, if you look down here, just as Karolina explained, we are that small compared to the sun. So the sun is actually 400 times bigger than the moon and 400 times farther. So if you look at the difference, if you see it from Earth, we are going to see the moon and the sun being the same size. Now, when we go around the sun and the moon goes around the Earth, we call these crossings nodes. So when these crossings happen, they create eclipses. And it shows how the sun hides behind the moon.
Now, there are two things that might seem a little confusing, and one of them is a solar eclipse and the other is a lunar eclipse. Now, the solar eclipse happens when the sun actually hides from the Earth. As you can see in this GIF, the moon is going in between the Earth and the sun like a sandwich. And the next one is a lunar eclipse. So the lunar eclipse is when the moon hides from the sun. So it hides behind the Earth in its shadow, just like that.
And now to introduce the eclipse, we'll be seeing a total eclipse, just as mentioned, on April 8th, which will be crossing 13 states, with the main event lasting about 4 minutes and 28 seconds and reaching a width of 115 miles wide. So you'll see the sun tracking the path of when we'll see the total eclipse.
And we call that the path of totality.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And now I'm going to talk about nature's reactions. So you may notice that during the solar eclipse, animals get really confused because animals don't have alarm clocks like we do. They have the sun, so the sun gives them cues when to wake up, when to sleep, and when to hunt. You may notice that the temperature may get a little cooler, as if it were the evening. The birds might stop chirping. The nocturnal animals might come out and be active. So you might see like owls and crickets. They start to chirp. Mosquitoes might come out to bite a lot. And another interesting thing is bees. Bees actually go silent. They stop working and they just huddle together in their beehives. And animals outdoors take shelter. So they think, oh, it's time to go to bed. So they go back to their barn. Like if you see sheep, they will huddle together and go back to their barn to take a quick nap. And you can see also the plants. If you live in a warmer area, you might see that they might close up, just like that GIF on the bottom left.
And to observe the eclipse, we're going to give you the basic do's and don'ts. There are many do's, but very little don'ts. And this is because the main rule is do not look straight at the sun. Okay? Unless you want to be blind like Patrick on the bottom, I suggest you don't do that. So, first thing is never use regular sunglasses. These sunglasses are not going to protect you against the rays of the sun. As you can see, they're very clear. They do not offer protection. So if you take these glasses to look at the sun, you're going to end up like Patrick. And then second is just to give you a short summary, do not point your phone or a camera lens straight at the sun without using what's called a solar film. Karolina will explain a little bit more about this, but just so you know, do not point your phone straight at the sun. And lastly, just like we've mentioned many times, do not stare at the sun. So this intense light and all these rays will damage the cells in your eye and they can cause you to go blind.
Yeah, so first of all, I want to ask you, what's wrong with this picture? Just look at it. Like, there's a solar eclipse happening, and this lemur on the bottom left, he has regular sunglasses, and he's amazed. And you're probably going to see a lot of people like that during the eclipse looking up, like, wow, this is beautiful, of course, because it's a phenomena, it's a celestial phenomena, so people are going to be curious. But you have to make sure, and I have these glasses here as an example, make sure that your lenses say ISO, like on that arrow right there on the image. It says ISO meets the requirements for 12312, and it has like a code following that. That's how you know that they're legit. Because there is I think last 2017 they had the solar eclipse and they were selling lenses, but they weren't NASA approved and they were not made for the solar eclipse. And a lot of people had solar damage on their eyes, so we want to make sure that they are approved, ISO approved. And the next slide, we're going to be talking about the do's, what you should do when you're going to see the eclipse, especially if you're going to see totality. Do wear sunscreen because you're going to be outside for a long time with a lot of people around you. So we want to protect your skin. Make sure you wear a hat to protect your skin when you're outside. Do use a pinhole projector, which Aleek will talk about in a few slides. And also make sure that you do have these NASA solar lenses. Make sure that they are not tarnished, that they have no scratches, that they're just one whole piece, and that they fit perfectly on you. And then Aleek is going to talk to us about how to view the eclipse when you see the sun moving in front of you.
So, like we mentioned before, we have these solar lenses to protect you from the harmful rays of the sun. So before the eclipse, what you're going to do is you're going to put your solar lenses on. So you're going to put them fully on. It's going to look like you can't see anything. But these lenses have various layers that will protect you from the sun rays. So you're going to put them all the way on, okay? And you're going to be able to see how the moon moves in front of the sun. Now, during the eclipse, you're going to see that it goes completely dark. So you're going to make sure that it is safe to remove your lenses. And you're going to keep in mind that this moment will only last 4 minutes. So if everybody can do it with me, we're going to put our lenses on. Okay, we're going to look at the sun.
Well, you're going to look at the sun.
During the eclipse, we're going to take them off for just a few minutes. And as soon as you start seeing the littlest ray of light, you're going to put them back on, and you're going to continue watching how the moon moves away from the sun.
And that's it. And now we're going to watch this quick video to explain, like, if you don't have these solar lenses with you at hand, because sometimes they might be sold out where you live, this is also an easy way to make at home.
I'm Kalisa from the Planetary Society. Today, I'm going to show you a cool and safe way that kids can observe a solar eclipse. All you need is a push pin, 2 paper cards, and a sunny place. We're going to make a pinhole projector. With a pinhole projector, we can watch the shape of the sun change during an eclipse without having to look directly at the sun. To make your projector, use your pin to punch a small hole in the middle of one of the cards. And that's it, you're done. Now take your pinhole projector outside, but don't look at the sun. Instead, look for your shadow. You want to see the shadow of your head and shoulders clearly, either on the ground or on a wall. Next, hold up the card with the hole and rest it on your shoulder so you can see the shadow of the card next to the shadow of your head. Now, hold up the second card until its shadow overlaps the shadow of the first card. Now look at the second card. You should see a small circle on it. The circle is actually an image of the sun. Your pinhole projector has projected it right onto your second card. Right now, the image of the sun on your card is a circular shape, but during a solar eclipse, you'll see a crescent. Be sure to try this very inexpensive trick on August 21st during the solar eclipse. To learn more about eclipses, go to planetary.org/eclipse.
It's going to be a totally awesome total eclipse.
Actually, no, it's going to be on April 8th on Monday. That's another video, but it still works. Another thing that I wanted to mention, which Aleek mentioned earlier, is the solar film sheet. So back in 2017, when I was just starting college, I was lucky to be in New York City at that time. And I was on top of one of the buildings looking up with all these professors. And I got so excited. So I took out my phone and I started recording everything with my brand new cell phone. And it totally ruined the lenses. So you don't want to pay for that. It's very, very expensive. So just make sure you do have that solar film sheet with you.
Okay, and if you guys need help with the solar eclipse, always remember to seek the help of an adult or an expert to observe the eclipse.
Yep, and that's it. Yay! And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach Aleek on the email highlighted in yellow, and mine is highlighted in pink, the spacelike@gmail.com. You could also follow me on Instagram or Facebook. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you guys, and hope to see you soon.
Bye.